Tânia, eu não consegui te ouvir. Apareceu aqui que como se você estivesse falando, mas não ouvi o som.
Você falou com Tânia?
Isso, eu achei que você estava falando, mas não estava saindo o
Ah,
som.
desculpa.
Não,
Não, não. Eu fechei o som agora.
boa
Obrigada.
tarde, Leonardo. Tudo bom?
Prontinho, gravação iniciada. Gente, vocês me desculpem se eu tiver que dar uma pausa aqui no microfone para tossir, que eu estou com uma gripe um pouco forte, mas sem problemas.
Ô, Lucas, toma própolis. Própolis é uma bênção para problema respiratório.
Eu tô tomando, Bernadette. Obrigado, tô tomando já. Comecei a tomar ontem. Já deu uma aliviada bem grande já.
Pois é, o
minha
própolis
garganta.
gotas é muito bom. E também antes de dormir, você esquenta o leite, depois você põe uma colher de mel e
Eu sou
canela em
alérgico a
pó.
leite, Bernadette. Eu tô tomando própolis só com mel mesmo, mas eu sou alérgico a leite, infelizmente.
Ah, tá.
Mas eu tô tomando com mel. Deu uma aliviada na minha garganta, que tava
É
bem
uma bênção, mel e
chato.
própolis.
É ruim, né? O gosto
É
eu não gosto,
ruim
não.
pra caramba,
Ruim
nossa
demais,
senhora.
fazer o quê, né?
Lógico, faz bem, né? Então vamos lá.
Se o gosto fosse bom, não chamava remédio.
É isso mesmo.
A gente tá realmente muito... Oi, Anne, tudo bom?
Boa tarde, Anne. Tudo bom?
Meu Deus. Então, vamos começar, Thiago? Tudo bem?
Yeah, you can start.
Ok. Opa, só o Leonardo chegou aqui também.
Hi, Leonardo.
Alô, Leonardo.
Boa tarde, pessoal. Deixa eu fazer uma pergunta. Nós estamos aguardando o pessoal ingressar, é isso?
Nós vamos iniciar agora, Anne. Nós estávamos aguardando só o
Tá.
pessoal ingressar mesmo.
Quem sabe a gente dá uma checadinha antes no outro link da mensagem que diz assim: boa tarde, Educomers, aqui estão os links para nosso encontro de hoje. Porque eu tentei por aquele link ali e não percebi que era, na verdade, do workshop mais tarde, né?
Uhum.
E na mesma mensagem diz assim, lembrando que às 14 horas temos nossa language lesson. Então eu peguei, vi language lesson e cliquei lá. E aí fiquei esperando eu aceitar. Então pode ser que tenha pessoas lá, não sei.
Uhum. Ok. Vamos checar depois.
Não, eu chequei lá, não tem mais ninguém lá, não.
Tem não, Thiago? Eu até verifiquei no outro link também do Concol, que deu um probleminha no link, aí eu dei uma verificada lá, mas é bom, ainda bem então. Well, so let's start with today's lesson. So before we actually go into the lesson, I would like to I'd like to do an exercise with you. I'm gonna tell you a story, which is not a story, it is a piece of news that I saw recently, and I would like you to identify the problem with it, because there is something within the news that is not really correct. Before we go into it, I want you to know that I am going to say some numbers, some percentages, and all the percentages and numbers are true. I'm not going to lie about any of the numbers that I'm going to say. Okay?
Ok.
So, in 2017, there was a study about homicides in Brazil and the United States. They were making some comparisons about violence in general, and especially violence against women. So, we all know how violence against women is, to say the least, a terrible thing. Here in Brazil, we have some laws to protect women from violence and domestic violence, and the laws are, in general, really, really good. We may argue about the applicability of these laws and if they're actually being put into practice, but the laws themselves are quite effective. So, what happens is, in Brazil, one woman was killed every 2 hours in 2017, which is absurd. So, in comparison to the United States, in the United States, one woman was killed every 4 hours. So, Brazil was killing the double the amount of women, which is absurd to say the least. And in this piece of news, it was claimed, with all these statistics that I just mentioned to you, that Brazil is a much more sexist country when it comes to women, and this is proof of it. So, do you think there is anything wrong with this piece of news?
I think, Lucas, I think it's about the time. I think it's the less, I think the duration of the time that 2 hours in every 2 hours. I think it's less than that. It's not every 2 hours. I think this one is could be the. It's not true about and how many women are killed or suffer some kind of violence. I think it's less than that. The time, not the women.
Like a shorter time between the
The shorter
events.
time. Yes.
It's a
Yes, I
shorter
think the
time.
shorter time.
Why do you think that, Tanya?
Because in the recent years, this number is more increased. The number of women. I'm tired today. Sorry, the number of women being suffer some kind of violence, and the one who end up lost in their life increase a lot. And then we can say, I think, woman doesn't matter from each which age they are. Is that children or adult?
So, you're actually right about the fact that violence against women has increased over the past few years. But that's not the problem, the exact problem with this piece of news. Do you have anyone else has another idea? I'm gonna type in so that you can have a clue. I just posted in chat the basic proposition of this piece of news. In Brazil, one woman was killed every 2 hours. In the US, one woman was killed every 4 hours. This is proof that Brazil is more sexist than the US. So, why is this a problem? Yes, the numbers are all correct. That is true. Brazil was killing double the amount of women that the US was. The problem of this piece of news is that it's saying that this proves that Brazil is more sexist than the US. So, how do you say that? Does that mean that Brazil is killing disproportionately more women than men than the US? That's what it should mean. But it never said anything about this. It just said the number. If you go and look into the numbers, out of all the homicides in Brazil, 8% of them are women. In the United States, that number goes up to 16%. So it's actually the opposite. The United States is more sexist than Brazil when it comes to the proportion of women killed in comparison to men. The problem is that Brazil kills more people in general. That's how you manipulate the numbers. So, this is an example of how actual data, truthful data, data that is true, can be used to misguide people, to bring a false narrative that is not exactly true. It has some truth to it, but it's not necessarily the truth. So, the point that we're trying to make is that fake news is not just a lie. It can be a half truth that is just being changed or twisted a little bit to manipulate your opinion. Thiago?
Oh, yeah, I was about to say that this is a tricky thing when using these statistics, because the statistic itself sometimes is not enough to prove something, but it's shown as a way that it's the solely proof of something, and this can be a problem.
All right. Now that we have kind of introduced the subject, we are going to, in a few minutes, watch a video explaining in more detail and giving some tips and hints as how you can identify fake news and what they are. But before we go into the video, we have a vocabulary exercise. Since the video has some words, sorry. Since the video has some words that are not very commonly used, we're going to introduce them as an exercise so that you can prepare yourself and that the students can prepare themselves in order to properly understand the video, okay? So we have these terms on the screen and we have some meanings. Every term has a meaning, and what you have to do is match the correct term with its proper definition. Any questions?
Everybody understood? And then you can use a notebook. You can use the on the computer to take the notes, and then we're gonna ask later what are the answers. Okay? Did everybody understand the exercise?
Tiago, there are some words that I don't know the meaning. For example, hoax. What's hoax?
Good. So what we want you to do is put the ones you know, and then try to see if the left ones can help you to find the solution.
Okay.
But then you can go online too. It's not a problem.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So you guys have 10 minutes to finish this, and we will get back to talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
are we ready? Did anyone not finish the exercise yet? Okay, let's bring out the answers then. Here. So, Thiago, can you do this one for me, please?
Yes. Guys, letter A. Having a good reputation and able to be trusted. What did you put, guys?
Reputable.
Suitable.
Good. Letter B. To deceive someone, usually by making that person do something that they did not intend to do.
Deceive.
To deceive someone and to do. Yeah, they are quite similar.
On.
Leonard said something?
It's a dupe or deceive.
Dupe. Good.
To.
Yeah,
The two are quite similar, so it's totally
they are
fine
very
to make
similar. Yeah.
substitute.
Is it dupe or deceive? The letter D.
Yeah, but in the definition of letter B, it uses to deceive. Yeah, because they are very similar. C, a plan to deceive someone, the plan in this case, such as telling the police there is a bomb somewhere when there is not one, or a trick.
Tem resposta?
What did you guys put?
The BM. Oh, let me see. Letter C.
Yes.
Hoax a plan. I put letter C. I put the C.
I
Yeah,
put deceive too.
yeah, but the plan is the hoax. This is the thing. And letter D, to persuade someone that something false is the truth, or to keep the truth hidden from someone for your own advantage. What did you guys put in this one?
Persuade them.
D. I put dupe.
Yeah, dupe and deceive are very similar. It's to trick someone, to make someone believe something. And the plan to do that, the way you do that is through the hoax. This is the thing with the hoax.
Yeah, hoax usually involves a scheme, and the problem with dupe and deceive is that they're both quite similar. The thing is that dupe, you're tricking someone into doing something for you, something that they usually don't want to do. And deceive is more a broad term for telling a lie or just making someone believe something that is untrue, not necessarily making them do something.
Okay, next one. False stories that appear to be news spread on the internet or using other media, usually created to influence political views or as a joke. What did you guys put in this one?
It is fake news.
Yeah, thankfully, or sadly, fake news is quite famous and everybody's aware at least. This is good. The next one, letter F. The act of discovering information about crimes or other activities and finding out who or what is responsible for them.
How can I pronounce this word? It's Latin.
Sleuthing.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Sleuthing.
Yeah.
What
Sleuthing.
the meaning? What the meaning of this word?
It's Liu
It-
thing.
Hey,
It's
Liu
Liu
thing.
thing. It's Liu.
Sleuthing. Yeah. It's the discover information about crimes, for example, or other activities. To investigate and to find the truth behind. Sleuthing.
Very similar
Okay,
to
it's letter F. Yeah. Okay, sleuthing.
Yeah, just similar to sleuthing is very similar to investigating.
Yeah. To investigate to find the truth behind something that happened. Sleuthing. And the last one, articles, photographs, etc. on the internet that are intended to attract attention and encourage people to click on links to particular websites. Those things that catch the attention very easily. What did you guys put? Okay, so it was clickbait. Did anyone thought it was different? Okay, this one. So everybody got. So now we're going to move on to the questions. Can you move the slides, Lucas, please? Yeah, we're gonna watch a video. It's a short video. I'm gonna send the link here on the chat, so each one can watch with in your device, in your cell phone, or in your computer. True. So we want you to watch this video thinking about these questions. Just a second.
Okay.
So, what is fake news for you guys? I want you to think about this. What is fake news? And how to identify fake news. I want you to think a little about this.
Sometimes it is not easy to identify what we are reading is fake news. Someone, I believe, and after someone said, "Oh, it's not true; it's fake news." So I don't think that easy to identify fake news sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
No, yes, and fake news, of course, is what people are telling. It's not true, it's false. They either fake or false.
Yeah, that's very good. It's very difficult to identify and how to identify them. How? So I want you guys to think about this. Think about how you use to identify a fake news. How can we identify fake news? I want you to take notes on this and how to take to identify what is fake news and how to identify them. And then I will show you the video later.
Okay.
So 5 minutes for you to think about it. Write down the answers, what you think and how to find tips on how to identify fake news. And 3 minutes for you guys to write down how to identify and what is, okay? So everybody has some notes on these thoughts. So I want you guys to watch this video now. The video will talk about the fake news and it will provide some ideas, ideas on these questions we made. And then I want you guys to compare with your thoughts on this topic. So watch the video and see if it's similar to what you thought and what are the differences. Okay?
Link is on the chat. Thiago,
Yeah, the link of the video is on the chat. Yeah, thank you. So you can go there and check it out. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
Tiago, and the video? Where is the video?
In the chat, I will right here.
Yeah, the link is on the chat.
Ah, okay.
You've probably heard this term.
Fake news, fake news,
Fake news.
fake news, fake news, fake news.
What exactly is fake news? And more importantly, why should you care about it? Let's start by looking at its history.
Well, wait, that wasn't a shadow, it's something moving. It's standing on legs. Those strange beings who landed in the Jersey farmlands tonight are the vanguard of an invading army from the planet Mars.
While fake news is nothing new, the internet has made it easier than ever for fake news to spread and even happen in the first place. Here's why. Before the internet, most people got their news from the paper, radio, or television. Because there were fewer sources providing news, it was in the best interest of each to be as reputable as possible. But with the internet, news moved online. Suddenly, anyone could post information on places like Facebook and Twitter. With so much information coming at us from all angles, it's easy to get duped. Especially when articles are made to look like verified news sources. People generally believe it to be true because it looks like news. This is happening more than ever. In fact, studies show that 75% of people who see fake news think it's real news. It can be really hard to tell when something is fake. Even our own eyes can be tricked. This is called a deep fake. Videos like this one use artificial intelligence to make it look like someone is saying or doing something they never actually did. Being duped by false information can have devastating effects on society and our democracy. That's why it's more important than ever for you to know what fake news is, be able to recognize it, and know how to stop it from spreading. So back to our original question, what is fake news? Fake news is when news, stories,
Everybody finished?
It's only one video that we saw, yes?
Yes.
Okay. What I saw is for me very interesting. He said that 75% of people believe in fake news, chiefly when involves president, the Pope. So it's true. it happens with me.
Yeah, fake news they are very creative creating fake news. It really looks like real things. This is why it's so difficult to discover, and this is why we believe sometimes if we
Yeah.
don't pay attention to the details. But then, how to identify? Tanya wrote here, to know if an information is true or not, it is important to check if it has been published on reputable press sites. Also, it's good to check if it comes out in various reputable media to see if it's true. Between commas. Yeah, it's very important with these quotation marks because truth is relative. But anyway, yeah, it's a very good point.
Tiago, so I don't know if I'm saying it's right, but when you asked how to check, so our cell phone, when we ask about if it is fake news or not, the cell phone answers if it is fake news or not?
Not the cell phone, but there are websites nowadays or platforms that check information too. This is the way to check. some
Okay.
informations, you can go to some reputable platforms that check different news, different piece of news to point if it's true or fake.
So not about using Google, yes?
Google is a tool to go after the truth. But the thing is that usually we receive one news, and then when we see it, how can we know if it's true or not, or if it's fake? And we need to look for more information about that news, more details, as the video mentioned, the author and all. And we use Google for that. Google is a very good help.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Does anybody have any other comments about the video, about what were your thoughts before and after the video?
Is there anything that's different from your notes or from your own perception or your opinion maybe?
I think we should move to the next link because this call is about to end, right?
Yeah, we have 8 minutes, but I guess we should just change it.
I think this is a good opportunity for it.
Great time to do so. Yep. So this is the link right here. I'm gonna post it in the chat so everyone can go. Yes, Tanya. Tanya, we're going to move to this next meet call that I just posted in the chat.
And we'll continue there.
Join.
So the link for the second part is on the chat. So everybody can go to the link.
Pronto, eu tava ajeitando a gravação, mas eu acho que não vem ninguém pra cá ainda não, só a gente. Você falou alguma coisa? Não, beleza. Deixa eu só... Claro. Só. Eu tava só ajeitando aqui. Enfim, so, as we were saying, there are many ways to identify fake news, and the video proposes some ways, but I would like to propose another one. And you may disagree or agree with it. So one thing that we can know about fake news, they're often not very specific. This is especially true to the fake news that everyone gets from WhatsApp and Telegram and Facebook and Instagram and all that. It's usually something very vague, maybe absurd, like, oh, a new research say that if you eat this type of food, you're not gonna have consequences from COVID. Did this? Did any of this ever happen to any of you? Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Can you repeat that, please?
Sorry, Tanya?
I didn't hear. Can you repeat that, please?
Oh, I was saying that one thing that is very common with fake news is they're not very specific, and sometimes you just get like a weird message that doesn't really say anything from on your WhatsApp or your Instagram or something. Did this ever happen to you? Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, yeah. Well, it is something that can happen. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's just like one more way to identify whether the news is fake or not. So, since we all watched the video and we're shown a few ways to identify whether we're talking about something that is fake or not, we have a warm up for you. We're going to show you two pieces of media. One of them is a tweet, and the other one is just a headline. And we want you to determine whether it's fake or if it's not fake. Okay? So let's go for the first one. So I want you to read this tweet and tell us whether you think it's true or fake. What do you think, Bernadette? Do you think this is true or do you think this is fake?
Oh, I think that is fake.
Why?
Because we know that our forest people, what we see on the news, put fire in order to take wood from the trees. But now in Brazil, this becomes a crime. So I think that this problem is less. Actually, I don't know if I'm right or not.
That is a very good point, actually. What about you, Tanya? What do you think?
Tanya, where is your face? Only her name. Where is she?
Maybe she needed a second.
She is without sound.
So, Bernadette, you made a very good point. And the reason that you made a good point is that you use your common knowledge to determine whether this is true or not. Like, this is one of the ways that you can tell that this is not true. Because yes, you're right. The fires in the Amazon, they decreased by a lot in the latest years. They actually, the amount of fires, they have increased, but the actual area that was burned decreased. Oh, Tanya seems to be back.
Yeah, I'm here. I was listening Bernadette saying, and you too. I will keep my camera closed because my internet's not stable.
Well, we understand. But what do you think about this article, this tweet, sorry? Do you think this is true?
Hmm, could be and could not, because maybe something that is not in Amazon rainforest could be another place. And I think we have to check if that is official. This is something about France here. The official government of France is there. Maybe I don't know if it's Emmanuel Macron. I don't know if that is from official from him or not.
Yes. He's the prime
Maybe
minister.
someone just uh, clue and make some kind of arrangement in the image, and they say that is in Brazil. But of course, in Brazil, we see these last years a lot of fire on the rainforest and everything. Could be true that what he's saying here, and maybe also someone trying to pretend that he's him. Everything can be possible, I guess. But
Your
I'm
first point was right on
but
the spot about the picture. Like what you said, well, we need to see if this picture is true or not. So this tweet, I don't remember exactly the year of this tweet. I think it was posted 2 years ago. Maybe Thiago can help me with that. Do you remember, Thiago?
It was 2019.
Yes, 2019. So 3 years ago. But this picture was taken by a photographer that died in 2003. So this picture is at least 19 years old. So that is one way to see that this is a problem. And you mentioned, well, what about this picture? Is this right? And you're right on the spot. Another point is just the general misinformation. So he says, and I quote, the Amazon rainforest, the lungs which produce 20% of our planet's oxygen, is on fire. That is not true. 20% of our oxygen is not produced in the Amazon. In fact, the Amazon doesn't really produce a lot of oxygen. It does, but it also consumes a lot. So it doesn't really put a lot of oxygen into the planet. So there are a lot of problems, and Ani actually said a very good point. Also, whose house is that again? So whose house is that again? Why is the Prime Minister of France so concerned with Brazilian rainforest, and why is he claiming that it's our house? So another way to see that there is something suspicious about this is that looking at the person who's making the argument, who's posting this piece of news, and say, well, is there any interest? What is the purpose? Why would that person do this? You see? So there are many, many ways in which we can determine whether something is true or if it's at least a little bit suspicious.
we also can see, like, if he says our house is burning, could be our house as a planet, Earth is our house. And also, as you said, the percentage he said, and this many things that he said, the person said there, maybe it's not really true. Maybe they just want to produce a fake news and send to the people as a true.
No, Tanya, one question. Yes or no? France and Europe in general, they have already destroyed all of their forests. There is nothing left there, right? Nothing. Do you think that is fair that they want to pressure us into letting them help us take care of our forest?
I think it's fair um, because we need the rainforest the to help the climate not be so damaged. And I don't think we should be think like that. Oh, they destroy their forest, their environment. But I think it's also we need to take care, because if you don't take care of that, and most of the foreign countries, they buy carbon, and they help us to protect the rainforest also, and they help us to protect the Serra do Curral in Belo Horizonte. And if they say something, the other countries that care about that, and they learn from their from a hard lesson that we should preserve the environment. We should preserve our green areas. That green areas is good for our life, the life of the planet, because we are part of that. We not to have the right to destroy everything. They did that in the past. They learned a hard lesson from that, and of course they have interests in 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 this area be health, safe, and alive, because we need that for our own security life, or our own health security life. And we need everything. Everyone who can help us, I think, is good, but they need to respect us and protect us, not impose their ideas, their concerns on us, but work together, as we are trying to work together to save the Serra do Curral in Belo Horizonte. And
Mm-hmm.
because of that situation, everybody that are concerned about the environment all over the world is now they are together with us to fight against what the government of Minas Gerais is trying to do. If they destroy the Serra do Curral, everybody in Belo Horizonte, Nova Lima, and Sabará is going to suffer.
That is for sure. We cannot let that happen in any way. At least that's my opinion. I think you agree too. That just cannot happen.
Oh, Tanya, when you said that they destroy Serra do Curral, eh, destroy in what meaning?
If they take what they want, they are going to kill the source of water, the water source that comes to Belo Horizonte, Sabará, and, and Nova Lima. And then we are going to pay a lot for that, because we are going to have less water to come to our house, and less water to go to your tap, to have water, safe water to drink. And the Copasa will need to ask, or to ask us to put more price in the water we use nowadays. In the future, not far future, but near future, we are going to suffer because of that. Also because of the the atmosphere, the air condition will be different, the climate will be the temperature will be rise, because if we take out the green area around Belo Horizonte, that will be a disaster for us.
That is a disaster. Now, think of it like this, right? So you see this tweet, and it has something legitimate behind it. Like, we should take care of the forest. The forest is important. But since it has misinformation within the tweet and facts that are just wrong, people might just not care about it because look, that's fake news. He said something that is wrong. He has the wrong picture. So we shouldn't care about what he's saying. When in reality, maybe we should. So you see that maybe sometimes fake news has something truthful behind it, but we don't really take it into consideration.
I understand what you just, I understood what did you say, but I know that's happened. I see we watch on TV, we suffer from that in the some time of the part of the year when the atmosphere, the oxygen, the air was, the sun was like the sun in, I think it's about September last year and the year before. We can see the sun as a orange ball, totally clear, totally orange on the horizon. But before the sun go to the horizon, the sun itself was a orange ball, and the clouds in front of that was so thick and so full of smoke that come all over almost Brazil, went to São Paulo. The kind of rain that fall down was a dark rain because of that. The smoke was destroying the Amazon forest, and also not only the Amazon forest, but also the Pantanal. And that we cannot just don't believe, say, oh, that's not true. Those pictures not from Brazil. Maybe this is from Brazil, but not totally right, totally true. But some kind of true it is. But we have to see what is really true, what they really want to say to us, to see, to check if that more recent or something that happened many years before. Just check the date and everything, all the information, and see if it's true or recent or not.
Yeah, that's correct. And it's a so delicate matter that when Emmanuel Macron posted this, the first reaction of people, especially from Brazil, was to attack him. And then his claims of saving the forest and all got weaker just because of this mistake he made. Because the problem wasn't in that level. We know that we have seasons throughout the year, so the problem gets worse, but sometimes it's not so bad. And at that moment, specifically, what people started thinking was in the other things, that he was lying, that he wasn't really interested and all. So this is one problem of not checking the information. Probably he received this photo, and his first reaction was to believe it was true. and the consequences of this were bad. This is a very interesting aspect of the fake news. The next one, for example, can you show the next slide, please, Lucas? Let me see. This one, what you guys think? Is this fake or not? This headline. With just this piece of information, you think this is fake or not?
Tiago, may you translate this sentence?
Yes, sure.
I will type in chat too.
What?
In translation, I will type it in chat.
Ah, ok. Tá falando que a translation is ok, but ok. Tá falando que as reservas de bacon dos Estados Unidos alcançaram a maior baixa em 50 anos.
Does it mean that American people like a lot of food that has bacon?
They love
Yeah,
bacon.
there's a fair assumption.
Yeah?
Yeah, they love bacon. That's
So that's the reason they are very, very fat. Yeah?
Whoa.
Well, I don't know. They eat bacon a lot. Bacon is a very, how can I say, important food on the American cuisine. But if this is the reason of why they are fat, I don't know.
They are a lot.
Yeah, the levels of obesity in the United States are very high. But
Yeah.
if this
Highest
is
of
caused
any
by
country in
bacon, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's the highest of any country in the entire planet, the U.S. But you also have to understand that the U.S. is one of the richest countries, so there's also that.
So when I was in Orlando, I know that their food has a high level of gordura. And so we found in Orlando restaurants that has Brazilian food. Okay, when we go to have lunch, we found a kind of food that doesn't have so high gordura. Yes? And I see that we Brazilian, we eat a lot fruit too. And it's not a habit for them to eat fruits. So that's the reason they are very fat, I think.
Can be.
Can I say something? May I say something? I think this is not true. The news. I think this is false. Maybe they try to make people go to the McDonald's or some kind of Burger King. I don't know if Burger King is from there, and say, oh, the bacon is out of the. We are going to lost our delicious bacon. Let's go and buy some sandwich and eat the last one. I think something like that.
Yeah, good. So this headline is actually true. In that moment, they were their reserves. Yeah, their reserves were really low, and because of this, there were many news doing exactly as you said. In a certain way, making people get anxious about the lack of bacon out there and feeling like going there and buying bacon and so. But as the responsible for the reserve said, it's very normal the reserves to oscillate, but it's just reserves. It's the extra bacon they have saved for the year. So the pork production was doing fine. It was doing fine. The bacon production was doing fine. So there was no problem in this. But this kind of headline makes people think like this.
Yeah, maybe they say something like that because the pork needs to time to grow, to become fat, to have a nice and health meat to sell that. And also I think it's a kind of commodities. They say something like that to make the commodities go high and have a nice, better price, and the farmer can sell them with a good money from a good money. Maybe it's a kind of economic situation like they that you said that's true was true, but was true, and also they get some compensation about from that. It's a kind of way to get more money.
Yeah, this is a possible reason behind. Yeah, that's completely accurate, your analysis, because the level was low, but wasn't a problem. If nobody talked about it, it wouldn't be this rush to the supermarkets to buy bacon. But because of this kind of news and in other vehicles too, created this sort of panic in people. And when people start buying a lot, prices go high, and then wholesalers make more money. So yeah, it's interesting to see a sort of motivation behind this kind of thing. The way
Yeah.
it sells the news, yeah.
I remember the time when the first year of the coronavirus, the pandemic, people all over the world start to buy a lot of toilet paper. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Yes,
especially
I remember
in
that.
England.
Yeah, and then they became crazy about toilet paper. That they everybody went to the
Yes.
supermarket
Oh my
and
God.
bought a lot of like 5 or 10 packet of toilet paper because they I don't know what's going on in their mind.
Yeah, that was a
I
disaster.
think was something about that bacon, a
Yeah,
little
same thing.
bit a little
This,
bit pandemic situation.
yeah, and no, this also justifies just rising the price beforehand. Because when people go and complain, well, why are the prices so high? And then they see this piece of news, they're like, oh, this kind of makes sense why the prices are high. So you kind of tone down the levels of popular outrage a little bit. But what you said, the toilet paper, it's a really hook to the first question that we have to the general discussion. Like, what harm could fake news cause? You just gave an example, the one of toilet paper and everybody not having toilet paper because everybody bought toilet paper. But can you think of another example of a type of fake news that ended up causing a huge issue for everybody?
I think also one another fake news that was about the alcohol, the 70 alcohol, the and then people said, okay, alcohol is not enough, 70 is not enough. Let's start to use that one is from that is from cars, and some people used this kind of alcohol that was used in cars. That was a fake news, and many people get get uh, how can I say damaged, not damaged, or I forgot the word. Quando a pessoa fica machucada, ela se machuca.
Hmm. They got hurt by
Yeah,
the.
they got
When
hurt about because they start to use this kind of alcohol that wasn't good for the to clean and to maintain the hands clean and everything was dangerous. That's what the one thing that happened in the coronavirus first year pandemic.
Good example. The health It can be a health problem when people believe in these fake news that are harmful for the body, for the health, right? Yeah. What else? And how do we stop them from causing harm?
What do you think, Bernadette? How do we stop fake news?
One way, I think, is stop reading what they say and doesn't he or she doesn't do any comentarios about fake news. Because if we read, if we write some comentarios about, so we give these kind of people force to continue to keep on. I don't know if I'm right, but it is what I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think also we should help them to understand that the news was a fake. That's not true. Take care. You go to the health center from your neighborhood. Check there if it's true or not about the 70% of alcohol. They start to use 19% of alcohol, and they get hurt. they get hurt about that. And also, the news is not good. It's not a good news. If it's a fake news, we need to help them to understand that, because many people, especially children, teenagers. I remember last year, the first year of the pandemic, I had online class in my school. Was a few students, but many times I need to help them to understand what the news was about, because they said, "Oh, I needed to clean my hand with a lot of time with the 17% alcohol," and one said to me, "My hand is I'm suffers a kind of injury, some kind of hurt. Her hand was hurt because was hurt. I don't know if I said something wrong, but some. And then I say to him, "That's not good. You are inside of your house. You don't need to clean your hand a lot of time with 17% alcohol. You can clean your hand with water and soap, and that's enough. You don't go. You are not going outside. Why are you using that a lot? Why are you using that as you are outside every time? Every time you are not outside." And I think we need to help them to understand, to see and see what's true or not.
Tiago, what is the reason that people who create fake news, what is their goals,
Yeah.
considering that they are liars?
Mm-hmm. It's a very good question. One of the main reasons is that they want people to believe in something that's not true, mostly to convince people to do things for their own interest. So one example that is a lot, there's a lot to do with our moment right now. We are we are about to face an election here in Brazil, right? And a lot of fake news are used to attack the other candidates or to praise candidates with things that are not true. And as we saw, if you create a fake news convincing enough, you can make people believe in those things. And then you can convince them to vote for candidates, but without, with not real reasons for that. Is that clear? Like, it's one of the points of the fake news.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason people spread fake news is the same reason that people lie. Why do you lie? Is because you want to control the other person's reaction. That's that's the only reason people lie. You want to control how you react. So they want to control how you're gonna react to that, right? And therefore controlling your actions.
Did you understand, Bernadette?
Yes, I understood, and I think that, as Lucas said, the people that create fake news, they are liars. So I think they know they are liars, and they have, in my opinion, they have to go to a psychiatric. This is a case of psychiatric,
Maybe.
of course.
Yeah.
Do you think they should be censored, Bernadette? Do you think fake news should be censored?
If I think that fake news, what?
Should be censored. That we should stop everybody from
Oh, yeah,
spreading
I
fake news.
think, yes, Lucas, I think fake news has to stop. Of course, I think that they can't keep on doing this. And Tiago said, actually, nowadays, elections is coming. So what the people that write about fake news, what they say about our candidates is right. Oh my God, it's an absurd. So I think that for me it's a crime.
Yes.
I think so. It's a crime. I think it's a kind of situation that normally people, since the history is the history, the human being exists, they create fake news, I guess. But fake news are a kind of gossip. They say something that's not true about the other person, and someone that just reply that, and I think they can be censored, but I I don't think we'll be censored in that case. Censored say, oh, okay, I'm going to go there and send you the police, and police is going to catch you, and you're going to the jail, something like that. I don't think we'll be in this way, but they need to have a kind of
Punishment.
control, punishment, a kind of control, and like to every time when see that that something is not true, that something is not true, they they are they could be um, they could be forced, or they could be forced to say the truth, or and ask, maybe could be something like that. Ask someone that the person that they say something that wasn't true, to have the same time and opportunity to use that person uh, media, and bring them to their media, or in the news, in the media news, the official, in TV, radio, something, at the same amount of time, and also go there and explain that what he said or she wasn't true. And but fake news is difficult because we saw last year, in past recent our past, they create fake news about many uh, politicians, and they put that as a true. They say that as a true, and now they see everybody are facing the result or the consequence about that fake news is doing in our life, in the country, in our country. We are suffer a lot because they let the fake news became true. And we have to see what kind of interest or interesting, I don't know, interest or interesting, what kind of goal, what kind of interest has behind that fake news. and why they let that fake news going on and on and on. Why they don't say that is fake news? The media, the big media, like Bandeirantes, Rede Globo, Record, essas outras empresas todas, why they, companies, why they let the fake news become true? What's the interest behind that? And they should be censored, or they should go to jail because they did what they did to Brazil, because they let people do what they are being doing to Brazil. That's a good point.
Yeah, it is. And it's a very interesting discussion. We will return to this topic next week
Yes.
to talk a little more about fake news. But today, our time is over, unfortunately. We're going to have the next part. So,
I think I can go. I think I can join. I don't
Good.
know. I will see if I have to give lesson.
good. Yeah, good. So the link, there is the link in the chat for the presence list. And
I fulfill already.
good. Bernadette, Chuck, there is the link for the presence list.
And Leonardo is out here now.
Yeah, he left and he didn't return. Maybe he's busy.
Yes, he left a few minutes ago, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but he can reach us later.
Thank you, everybody, for attending. I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you too.
Thank you for the present, people. It was very good to be with you one more week.
Yeah. I'm
Thank you, Lucas and Tiago. Thank you for the lesson. Elaine, I'd like to remind Bernadette and Tanya about the our Concol and Educonlis activities for today. Okay.
Okay.
So we are almost out of time. If you want to go to the bathroom or something like that,
That's
if you want to have a quick break, now it's time for it. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Thiago. Thanks a lot. You are brilliant.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you, guys.
Bye bye.
Gente, vamos entrar lá e aprovar a Andrea, tá?
Oh, ok.
Aí, Tiago, bom, depois a gente conversa sobre o negócio a data. A gente vai ter que mencionar a data. Foi dia 11, é dia 10, sexta-feira que vem. Então, o flyer tá com a data errada.
Oh my
Tá?
God.
Então, a gente só tem que lembrar. Nós vamos ter que fazer uma errata. A gente faz e